Going on, everyone? TheAireaidLord is back with another review for The Walking Dead. This one is episode 11, entitled Bounty for season 9. You might have noticed there's a new intro. I wish I had it for the previous two episodes of season 9, second half, but better late than never. I'm actually going to be, you'll notice there's going to be a new format to vlogs in the coming week. Some that I've already pre-recorded, and they're going to have a different format. Some of them will be pictures accompanying what I'm talking about. It'll be different from the IRL face-to-face that we do here with the webcam. So a little different, but let me know what your feedback is, as always, and we'll go from there. So jumping into the episode, dude, like, it's funny because I saw Scott Gimple. I follow Scott Gimple on Twitter. Now, I don't know why he was tweeting about the episode, because he's not the showrunner. I know he's like the overall creative director of The Walking Dead, but I mean, he's got some Rick Grimes movies to focus on right now, so I don't know why he's got he's whatever. But anyway, he had a tweet where he talked about this episode being a roller coaster, being on two ends of the spectrum in terms of like happy feeling and also sadness, anxiety. Just like you get two ends of the spectrum with this episode. And like as I was watching this, it was really like everything he was saying, he said in that tweet resonated, because you get the tension that we ended on from the previous episode. Alpha and the Whisperers have arrived, and they are demanding Lydia, and they do have hostages. They have Alden and Luke, and it's very simple. And for a villain, she, doesn't... Because thinking from her perspective, she could have invaded the hilltop, tried to climb the walls, waited till it's nighttime, and tried to kill them in their sleep, found her daughter, and then broke her out, and then just killed Alden and Luke anyway. But she decided to go up to the gates and, in the middle of the day, ask for her daughter back. Now, maybe she saw this fortified community and was maybe unsure of her adversary and didn't want to jump into things. That's the Alpha of the comic book. She wants to test out who her adversaries are. And we see this to a greater degree when she is testing how badly they want their people back. Like, during the conversations, she's really kind of testing, like, how much they care, how much humanity is still left inside of them, because there's clearly no humanity left inside of her. That's very evident in the scene where the baby is crying, the Whisperer baby is crying, and she instructs the mother to just leave it on the ground, and the mother does it. Like, they had the mask on, so you couldn't really see any emotion. But to believe in the philosophy of your group, you're willing to just leave your infant kid on the ground to be devoured by a horde of walkers. Like, how horrible is that? Now, the whole thing with Connie getting stuck in the cornfield actually saved this child. And it was so ingenious. There were so many, like, little ingenious things in this episode. Like, the fact that Luke was using sign language to communicate with Connie through the cornfield, because otherwise, honestly, that's the only form of communication you have. Like, if she could hear and didn't know sign language, there's no way that they would have been able to communicate, because Alden and Luke had mouth gags. So him being able, behind his back, using symbols, almost like in a sport, they do symbols and stuff when there's like a specific play or something that's going to be routed. But sign language, being able to do that was really, really cool from afar. And it added an extra layer to it, because you're thinking to yourself, like, the different layers. Like, she's deaf. She has to get this baby and get through this maze. And it's, for a brief period of time, they actually put you in her shoes, like what she's feeling. Like, it's almost like a video game. You go first person. I don't know if you guys have played Outlast 2. It would kind of reminded me with the cornfield. You go into the first person, kind of third person outside, but you like, the noise gets canceled, and she's trying to stab zombies. She's running away. Like, I don't know how I mean, because, like, at any moment, you can't hear the growling of the zombie, so you can turn and hit it. So she's carrying this baby, running for her life, and then Daryl is able to intervene and get her back. But it was just like this three-pronged, because obviously you have the tension at the gate. Alpha's just patiently waiting for her daughter, and then these walkers come. She tries to divert the walkers, but she's getting ticked off because the baby's there. And then Connie's like, there's so many layers to the whole thing, and at any moment I was like, either a walker's gonna try to get Connie, or like the Whisperers are gonna see what's going on and they're gonna try to intervene. Like, it was so many things going on. And then, to jump to the end of the episode very briefly, the baby actually comes into play with the guy that attacked Maggie back in the beginning of season 9, Earl. He was getting, at one point in the episode, he was getting patched up by Enid, and they mentioned how there was kind of a hole in their life. There was a vacancy ever since their kid died, and lo and behold, this baby actually comes into play and fills a void, like a plot point that I didn't think would, because it was such a minute plot point. Like, it was just kind of this side scene. I didn't think much about it. Like, oh, Earl is an old guy. He's getting patched up with a doctor. Enid's helping him. All right, this will just be some brief scene, so that it'll be like a filler scene, so that they can build tension towards Alpha and what's going on. But it came back into play. And I like that Angela Kang does that, because I feel, not to knock on Scott Gimple, but I feel like in previous seasons, something like that like wouldn't have come back up. Like something where there's like a brief filler scene, it would have been just that, a filler scene, and we wouldn't see anything more with it. The baby would just be brought into the community. It wouldn't have anything to do with that scene, but they, Kang and the writing team, paired those two together, and it worked very well. So that's just something I wanted to praise while it's on the mind. That scene was amazing, dude. Like, it was such high tension. You can't hear anything. Like, she's done such a great job of really making you, like, afraid again in this zombie apocalypse. And I go back to the cemetery scene in the mid-season finale, when the Whisperers are first introduced when Jesus dies. And then this scene where they're out in the open, it's daytime, but there's still this huge, like, the cornfield, and you have this extra element. It's kind of like this Friday the 13th, just like being chased by a demon, and because the sound, you can't hear it. It's almost like when in the horror movie, when there's like no sound, or like there's a creepy track that's building to some crescendo jump scare or whatever, like, you're just expecting it. And so it works efficiently because of that. And yeah, kudos to the show. So then we get to well, before the other Hilltop stuff, we have this, I wouldn't say it's a side plot. It's the other half of this episode. It's Ezekiel and the kingdom. They're going to get a light bulb for a movie projector so that they can use it for the fair. So, because Ezekiel has this whole thing where he's like, we want to, imagine kids, the movie projector, I guess, hasn't worked in a while, and they want to, like, it's important to the history of humanity to have movies and stuff, because no one's making them anymore, so the only way you could rewatch the archives, and if you don't have the technology, you can't do it. So this was the side mission. Carol wasn't aware of it, and then Ezekiel and Jerry spill the beans, and then she's like, all right, let's go get this thing, and it's for the future, it's for something, let's go do it. I gotta tell you, Jerry was cracking me up during this episode. That's what I was saying, from the anxiety to the funny. In terms of the funny, Jerry was absolutely cracking me up, man. He was, like, they're playing the cassette tape, and he's kind of, like, dancing. Like, he actually, like, says one of the lyrics. Yeah, he just had all these one-liners. Like, I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but I was dying watching this episode, listening to him. It's just, I mean, he's had funny things before, like with the cobbler. He's just a goofball. He's just a big goofball, almost like a Curly from the Three Stooges. He's just a big goofball. But hey, I mean, he's hell of efficient. He's got, kids, and yeah, he's a good character. I love his addition. I think I was more aware of how much I liked his addition in the show, having Jerry there, just being the witty banter. And he drops the light bulb down. He's like, where is that light bulb? Oh, it's probably between row R and O. And he was just like, the way he was describing it, I was like, oh my God. I thought that there was going to be some sort of like high tension scene. Like, once Jerry accidentally dropped the bulb, I thought that they were going to have to burst into the theater, and someone would have a close escape. Like, one of the Kingdom soldiers would get bit and die, and it would be a harrowing escape. And it was honestly, when they released that rope and the walkers flooded in through the theater, they just took them down with ease. They used the bow and arrows, and they used the scenery of the movie theater, like the railings and all this stuff, like the vending machines and everything that was there. Like, they used it in order to wall off the walkers so they could kill each one. So that they weren't continuously flooding in. They kind of were just like, and then once they got them all, they were able to get the bulb and get out of there. They didn't even show them getting the bulb. They just showed them getting a few walker kills. But the music started up. That music, the cassette music that was that, not hip-hop, it was like a jazz song. I have the name of it here, actually. I can IRL do this. I can do this right now for you guys. I Shazammed it during the episode. It's All Right Now, Eddie Harris. And then there was All My Dreaming by Emma Russack. That was the sad music that was playing after Lydia left. So it just, like, and there was no tension with that scene, which is fine. Like, it was I guess a bit of relief, because, and they had said this in Talking Dead, that the Kingdom had never gone on a mission that didn't have to do with the Saviors. And if you think about it, that's kind of true, because back when the Kingdom was first introduced, they were getting those pigs and filling the pigs with the zombie guts so they could give the pigs as tributes to Gavin's group of Saviors. So this is the first time they have, like, a different mission, and they had a different theme. One last note about that. You see, there's, as much as the characters in this show change, like, certain characters die, new ones come on. Whatever you disagree, Carl dying, Rick leaving, whatever you disagree with, whatever character's gone and not gone, who's died and hasn't died, there's one constant with this show since the first season. Obviously this is a live video I'm making, so I can't pose a question like, tell me what you guys think that one thing is. I'll give you a minute, but no, this isn't a live stream. If it was a live stream, I might have considered doing that. But the walker effects, the zombie kills, and the types of walkers that are in this show, they just, like, Greg Nicotero and the team, they reinvent themselves every time. From the ocean side with those, like, coral water zombies, and then you had the spider zombie in the museum in DC, and then in this episode you had the zombie that was trying to get through the popcorn machine, and it, like, split its head open on, like, the rusted underbelly of the thing. I was just like, oh my god. Like, I mean, it's the thing that makes The Walking Dead, like, having those gory, bloody, gross kills. Like, those are every Walking Dead fan's like, yeah, like, they cheer, like, yeah, gore and violence and zombies having their heads explode. Like, that's awesome. Like, and the show never falters with that. They never leave that out. So, it was good to see some diversification with the vending machine scene. That was really cool. And then we get into, so Henry, as soon as he finds out that Alpha is here, he hides Lydia and brings her to that shack where all of the kids got drunk. And of course the curly-haired chick knows where Daryl went. Daryl was ready to use his dog to go track Henry, but thankfully, I mean, it was just a quick kind of thing. She put two and two together because of their little misadventure they had a few episodes ago. It was weird in this scene because Henry and Lydia are in that shack, and she's changing in I don't know if you guys noticed this, like, because when he turns around, she's wearing the new clothes, like the pink shirt and like new jeans. And because in the previous episode, Daryl had said, why don't you get her some new clothes, because they were all raggedy and disgusting. It's probably the same shit Alpha's been wearing for fucking 6.5 years. Smelly piece of shit. So it was just weird because, like, knowing that Henry has the hots for this girl, and I just, I mean, he's a gentleman. In the scene, he was looking out the window. He wasn't trying to peep at her or anything, not being a, freaking peeping Tom or anything. But I just thought it was weird that like they didn't jump cut it, like the scene. Like I would have thought that like Lydia would already be changed. She would already be standing around, and Henry would be like trying to stall her, so that she doesn't know that Alpha's there or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe they left the scene in because they wanted to show Lydia. It's symbolic of her coming back to civilization because she's shed her raggedy, dirty, disgusting shell, and now she's kind of like she's like cleaning herself. It's like she's scrubbing away all of the pain and dirt and all this stuff that abuse that she's gone through, and now she's kind of going back to her. Because when she comes out, like honestly, it looked like she came up from a trailer. Like her lipstick was all done, like her face was all clean. Like she must have taken a full bath, man. Like she looked like fresh. Compared to in the previous episode where she was all dirty and shit, like she looked completely fresh. I was like, what the heck? Like, I was like, it's almost like she was literally going to go on a date with Henry and like, hey, let's go to the movies. I hear Carol and Ezekiel just got a new projector bulb. It was weird. Like she was all freshened up and stuff, and I was like, so juxtapose that to Alpha with the hair, the mascara. That's what I'm trying to say. And all of the, like, she's just grimy, dirty, just grotesque. I've seen people this past week making so many comparisons of what she looks like without her mask. Like Darth Vader, when Darth Vader takes his helmet off at the end of Return of the Jedi, when he looks all deformed with the bald head. People were saying that she's ugly. She's ugly as shit. Like, keep the fucking blonde whisperer mask on, because your bald, disgusting face is not doing it for you, honey. But yeah, so yeah, juxtapose the disgusting, dirty nature of Alpha to how beautiful and fresh and clean, and just well put together. You got the unkempt Alpha, and you got Lydia, and it's symbolic. It is symbolic, and now I'm kind of putting those pieces together. And I only just put them together now, like with that comparison, doing this vlog for you guys. I was like, oh yeah, like clean, like dirt. Because I was like, why would they have that scene of her changing, like, and then like she comes out, she's like a new person. I was like, oh okay, so it worked, and then Enid volunteers to talk Henry out of this whole thing. And she brings up Carl, and she talks about her past. And I actually just made a vlog about this, so I was kind of laughing to myself. I was like, oh shit, I just made a vlog about this. She talks about like when her parents died, the JSS stuff, and she tries to like talk them out of it. Like, look, like, they have hostages. This is the only way. And everyone is telling Henry that this is the only way. Even Lydia, she comes out and is like, I mean, she looks kind of bummed. She's like, look, well, the one thing I don't understand is she says like she misses her people. I was like, I thought she had come to a revelation the last episode that these people had treated her like shit, especially her mom. Now that she's got her memories back, she knows her mom is a conniving piece of shit who leave babies on the floor and abuse her daughter. She slaps her. When Lydia comes back, she's like, thanks for getting me, Mom. And she's like, you'll address me as Alpha. And I was like, okay, I guess that's where we stand. So it was confusing to me, but she did have regret. She did say she would miss Henry. She obviously gives him a kiss, so that's saying a lot there. I guess the romance is, it's climbing up the ladder. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get the other scenes from the comics where Carl and Lydia actually hook up. Not sure if they would really put that in a show like The Walking Dead, where it seems like everything is censored, from the curse words. How many seasons did I go frustrated to all hell that Negan couldn't say the F word? I think I made like 2 vlogs on it where they had the censored version. They had one version. They had one version where Negan said the F word, and it was his introduction speech at the end of the season 6 finale. And it's funny, and I wish. All right, I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, who knows where we'll see the romance go. If it follows the comics, then it will blossom, but a few things have to happen first. So we'll get there. And then and then Henry is pissed, and the thing is, you could tell that Daryl's angry too, but so Henry and Daryl internalized losing Lydia in a different manner. Henry is hormonal, this girl literally just kissed him. Like, any guy would be chasing that tail. Especially, I mean, I could understand if there wasn't much of like a parting gift, but there kind of was. So Henry's like, wow. And I like how it really hits home the loneliness he's feeling and the pain that he's feeling, because when they have that music montage and they get to Enid and Alden, when they reunite, when the prisoners are returned, there's a brief scene where they're in bed together. Not like that. They're just clothed on top of each other kissing. But it's, it symbolizes a happy romance that they're having. And then you cut right after that right to Henry, and he's all alone in his bed, probably, thinking, I'm surprised he wasn't crying, like literally thinking to himself, like, geez, like, this girl's going back to an abusive environment. She is meant for a place like this. I need to go after her. And sure enough, he does. He leaves. He leaves the message, because the conversation he has with Daryl just accepts it. He's like, life sucks. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Yeah, it's terrible that Lydia's going back to them. In a perfect world, she would stay with us. But there's nothing you can do. Sometimes you just got to take these things on the chin and move on. And Henry is young, naive, and he's like, no, that can't be. And so he leaves the note for Daryl. He's going off to find her, and then Daryl sees the note, and then Connie, interestingly enough, the deaf one, wants to go with Daryl. Now, the only problem, and I was thinking of this, like, when, I forget the girl's name, it's the African-American girl who, they all know the sign language. So I guess you wouldn't really need her. Luke, anyone from Yumiko and Magna's group who knows sign language. Daryl doesn't know sign language. They were communicating with a notepad, pen and paper. So if they're out in the woods tracking the whispers to find Henry, how are Daryl and Connie, like, they're gonna need, they're gonna need touch. They're gonna need to, like, tap each other on the shoulder, writing down, like, I don't know. I feel like it would be a distraction. Like, if the whispers were walkers, if they face them on the road and there's a fight of any kind, I just feel like, communication is key. So we saw how critical communication was with saving the baby when Luke was giving her the signals and she takes off and saves it, because otherwise, there's no saving that. You can't say anything, and maybe Connie doesn't see it, and then the baby gets eaten. So sign language and her being deaf was actually, a saving grace. It was, obviously it sucks that she doesn't have one of her dominant senses, but in this case, it saved a life. So I just don't know how effective it'll be moving forward, because obviously she escaped the cornfield, but Daryl had to intervene. So now the two of them are going out, but now they're going into the belly of the beast. Like, this guy, I've seen previews, betas in the next episode, like, you're going into the belly of the beast. You're going to the Whisperer camp. So you're asking for trouble. Obviously Henry's asking for trouble, but, like, anyone going in that direction towards these psychopaths is asking for trouble. So we'll have to see how things go. I don't know, like, in terms of the next episode, I don't know how Lydia's going to react, because there were some previews that they showed, like, on the next episode of The Walking Dead. There's a scene where Lydia punches Henry. And it kind of surprised me. I was like, wouldn't you be, like, happy this guy came after you because he cares so much? He cares about you so much that he left the safety of his community to go find you and make sure you were okay. And you punch him in the face? I was like, what's your problem? Like, you just kissed this guy. I was like, what? So, I don't know. We're going to have to see how their dynamic goes, because I don't know if Alpha's going to approve of it. I mean, she seems to be fluid. She seems to take things in and then react to them. Like, she's not like Negan, where she wants to dominate and control and be a tyrant. She just wants to live her life, and she believes in her philosophy. Like when the baby got left behind, she's like, natural selection. That's just how things are. She seems to be someone who just shrugs her shoulders at any type of emotion, at anything. So will she accept Henry in their group? She might even say, like, oh, you got to become a Whisperer in order to be with her. And Henry, I mean, that's not really the type of lifestyle that kid's going to want. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll do it because he cares about her that much. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I hope that, because it's nice to see some happiness in the show. So I hope that the Henry-Lydia dynamic has some type of happy ending. It is still going on in the comics. Like, Carl and Lydia are still together after the Whisperers are dead and gone. Just to let you guys know. So if this is following the same thing, then beyond season 9, that we should still have this dynamic. However, seeing Lydia punch him in that preview, and then, I don't know. Like, next episode is going to be very telling. Whatever happens next episode, like with how Alpha and Beta react to Henry and how Lydia react, like all of that is going to tell us, is this relationship going anywhere? Is Henry going anywhere? Maybe he fucking dies because of this, which wouldn't make sense since they just replaced him this season. Carl was gone last season. Now they am replacing him this season. I don't know why you would kill off your young characters since they're needed for the future. Especially with all the departures of all these actors, Michonne and blah, 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 blah. So, whatever. I'm not going to get into that now. But, I hope there's some type of happy ending. Because, obviously, the Whisperers are introducing death and just... they have there's a notable scene. There's something that Alpha does that's very iconic. It's equivalent to Negan bashing Glenn and Abraham's skulls, and it's on that level. It's a major, major death. It's a major turning point. When Negan did that in that clearing, that was a turning point for the show. And there's something happening at the end of season 9 that happens in the comics that's going to be a similar turning point. I don't know how it's going to... I know what it is, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. I also don't know who the victims are, like who's going to die. So we shall see. That seems to be my favorite catchphrase with these vlogs. We shall see. Because we will. We have to wait. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of the episode. Do you ship Lydia and Henry, or do you wish it was Carl? I still don't know why people think that, but I made a vlog about that. Actually, this week you will see that. You will see a vlog where I pit Henry and Carl against each other, and I give my opinion. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. What am I going to give this episode for a rating? I don't know. I would have liked a little more tension with the Kingdom stuff, and the fast pace of the Hilltop stuff was nice, but I almost wish that there were a few more scenes with the Whisperers. Like, it just felt disjointed because, like, when I was with Ezekiel and his group, I was like, no, go back to the Hilltop, like, because, like, all the tension is there. I was like, no, go back to the Hilltop, go. Part of me almost wishes that the whole movie theater Kingdom thing was in a different episode, and that the entirety of this episode dealt with the Hilltop hostage situation with Lydia. That's just my opinion. So for that reason, I'll give this episode an 8.5, but that's primarily why. Just because it's interesting to pair off those two types of emotions, like Scott Gimple said in his tweet. But I think that you could have stayed with one, because like the tension that you brought with that Hilltop scene with the Whisperers was really good. And I just think that you shouldn't have tried to go for too much. I know people don't like the bottle episodes. That was what killed season 7, where it was just one community per episode. But I think in this case it works because you're dealing with the main threat. These are the main villains. You got Alpha, you got there's Henry and Lydia and Daryl. I mean, you got a lot of A-listers there. You don't got Michonne and Judith or Negan, but you still got a lot of A-listers. And I think that you should have focused a little more on that. Which again they did mostly, but I think having the whole episode be about that would have been better. Just my opinion. So, okay, guys. See you later. It looks like also next episode we'll finally get Alexandria. I mean, how many fucking episodes has it been since we've seen Alexandria? I mean, Jesus Christ. Also, Oceanside. God knows what's going on with those fucking people. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Peace out.